עלו והצליחו, תכסחו אותם כמה שיותר, שלא להשאיר מהם זכר, שלא הם, לא אמא שלהם, לא הילדה שלהם, לא התינוקות שלהם, אסור להם לחיות לחיות האלה.
In 1947, the UN General Assembly adopted the plan for the partition of Palestine to divide Palestine into three sections: the Arab states, the Jewish states, and the city of Jerusalem. It was called Resolution 181. Now, why did the UN decide to partition Palestine? The Jewish population had been attacked during the Arab Revolt, which led to the belief that both populations cannot coexist. However, the partition was rejected by the Palestinians because they felt cheated of their land and their space, hence leading to the first civil war, which happened in the late 20th century, and the end of the British mandate. The purpose of the partition plan was to address the objectives and claims of the two competing movements, which was the Palestinian nationalism and the Jewish nationalism. In 2023, October 7th, the Hamas militants attacked Israel with all they got, killing over 1,400 Israelis, kidnapping more than 155 of them, which are being held hostage in Gaza currently. This was a war we all knew was going to be disastrous towards Gaza and Palestinians, right? But Israel attacked with all they got, and now Gaza is almost flattened out. And they're giving out warnings to Palestinians in Gaza to leave immediately, to be able to save their lives, of course, because they're not going to stop attacking Gaza. Let's watch this next video.
The 24-hour notice to the people in northern Gaza to leave their land, homes and hospitals is outrageous. This represents an attack on medical care and on humanity. We are talking about more than 1 million human beings. We have consistently seen dehumanizing language, and this violence is a manifestation of that. Unprecedented doesn't even cover the medical humanitarian impact. Gaza is being flattened. Thousands of people are dying. This must stop now. We condemn Israel's demand in the strongest possible terms.
Whatever is happening in Gaza and Israel as well is wrong. This is a war of politics. This is a war between governments. But the thing about wars is that the civilians are the ones who suffer it the most. It is really heartbreaking to know that thousands of civilians have died on both sides. Over 1,400 have died in Israel, and at least 2,808 Palestinians have been killed in just over a week. Right now, Gaza has run out of resources for medical care and medical aid for their over 8,700 and something injured civilians. It is heartbreaking to think about the fact that Israel is not stopping. It is absolutely outrageous that you would ask thousands of people to get up and leave the only place they knew as home, the only place they called home. This war that is happening should not be disastrous to the civilians alone. In fact, why should the civilians even face the casualties of the war that's happening right now? I feel like this is the best illustration of what is going on between Israel and Palestine. So she was talking to her 9-year-old son, who was curious to know about what was going on or what is going on between Gaza and Palestine and Israel, right? And this 9-year-old has a 3-year-old brother who has his own room. Now imagine if the 9-year-old goes into the 3-year-old's room and tells the 3-year-old that he has to stay on his cot, that cot is going to be his space, but every other part of the room was his own, the 9-year-old's own, right? The 9-year-old would then be in charge of what the 3-year-old does. If the 3-year-old wants to eat or go out to get food to eat, the 3-year-old has to ask for permission from the 9-year-old, right? But then most of the time, the 9-year-old does not let the 3-year-old get what he wants to get. He doesn't let the 3-year-old use the restroom. He doesn't let the 3-year-old go out to get food or do anything. He just wants the 3-year-old to lie quietly on his cot, right? That is what is happening between Israel and Palestine. Israel is the 9-year-old. Palestine is the 3-year-old. And I cannot say that Palestine is fault-free. I know I have heard of news about Palestinians raping Israeli women and kidnapping Israelis. And at the same time, I've also seen news, Israel's military force arresting a child because he crossed over the border. These are things that I have seen on the news a number of times for the past 1 year. Israel has been oppressing Palestine at a chokehold. And you do not expect Palestine to sit back and be like, oh, since I do not have the manpower, I do not have the strength, the capabilities to attack Israel and bring Israel down, I'm just going to keep letting myself be oppressed, right? I feel like everybody and everything has a limit, but them standing back and just letting the things be has been disastrous for them. They are not allowed to travel out of their country freely without Israel being involved. They are not allowed as shepherds to take their flocks to certain places to feed the flocks, because you might end up crossing the border, which is a thin line. Here's a map of the Israeli-Palestine border where you can see the line demarcating Israel. Look at this. They've been cheated out of their land. I won't call it cheated. I don't know if I should call it cheated, but it is outrageous that even with that, Israel oppresses Palestine. And it is absolutely terrible that you would even stand to think, oh, why did Palestine fight back? Palestine shouldn't have fought back. They should have just let things be. After all, they partitioned the land, they partitioned their space a long time ago, and they should accept it. Accept it while being oppressed. I feel like that just doesn't sit right. That's wrong. As individuals, as citizens of countries in different parts of the world, what can we do to help Palestinians or Israelite if it's Israel you support? Either ways, you're free to have your own opinion as a human being. But what can we do to support? One, you could absolutely share about what is going on between Israel and Palestine. Two, I'll link a petition in the description box. You could sign a petition to support Israel or to support Palestine. Also, three, you could donate. I'm also going to drop a link down for donation. You could donate to humanitarian workers who are currently working in Palestine. And I've done my part. I've given my opinion. It's up to you to do yours. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video so that more people can find this video. Don't forget to share so that more people can get the information you just got. Thank you for watching.